the thing that I think I find interesting about your trajectory is you feel like it feels to me like you had a similar trajectory that comedians have, where like you started out and you were kind of doing it for the love of the game. You were kind of struggling for years. Like you did it. Like we talked about before you moved to New York, when you lived in Chicago and you had your vision was like, I'm going to have a podcast studio. You were just doing it.
So
it wasn't
30.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You
30
were
podcasts at one point that none of them were
I was
making
say,
money.
You weren't cashing big checks. You were just doing it.
That's insane.
But the way we talk about comedians, like you stayed in it long enough to get your due.
Yeah.
And it feels again in a similar way, like you had a similar trajectory to like comics who have popped after 10 years of like grinding.
Sure.
You know?
Well, thank you. I mean, it does. Like, look, it's hard to for really, I think for anyone, just human beings in general, to like give themselves the proper amount of due for themselves. Humility and all that. What I've come to like kind of accept now is that I know I worked very, very hard. And I do have a certain level of talent that pushed me beyond, but it's not even that. I know for a fact that if the Tylers or the Stephen Haas's or the James Austin Blacks were around when I was doing this, I would have no chance.
You're just like, you're the guy. You're the only guy at the time.
So I was first, and I was lucky. So the Chicago is special. The way that everything has happened up
and
until
the way you
now,
say Chicago, is that because of the mustache or which came
Yeah,
first?
no, yeah. Yes, it interferes with
just
the way
checking.
I talk.
Yeah. If you shaved it, it would come out.
It comes out Chicago.
Yeah, I think you have to say it like that.
But no, Chicago is special because when this all first started, when we all kind of like whatever the start you want to call it was, let's call it 2008. When it was, were you guys around for the Edge Comedy Club?
No.
Were you before your
before
time?
Yeah, we both started like 2010, 2012.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys, the Edge was it? So do you guys remember Sully's open mic?
Yeah.
So that was the ghost of the Edge Comedy Club. The Edge Comedy Club was a beautiful place where like so many people, like everyone we know who's come out of Chicago kind of went through.
Got it.
It was in a theater called the Chicago Center for the Performing Arts, which was right over the bridge at Chicago and Halstead, 777 North Green Street, which is now City Church. And
right over here.
Right here.
Yeah.
And
Great spot.
that's where I started.
Huh.
So every night of the week there was at least one, if not two, comedy shows in this 7-venue or the 4-venue space.
Wow.
And open mic showcases, both, you name it. Mikey O was doing shows in the big room, the 350 seat room. Like it was a gathering place for comedy. Zanies wasn't booking local people then. Laugh Factory was Lakeshore Theater. There was no Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And there were no showcases. So like we had no, we certainly didn't have any production.
Yeah.
But New York and LA always have. That's their thing, right? So I existed in the before times when there was a void to fill.
Yeah.
And I was a big enough dork. I've been building computers since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've always liked technology and software. So that's I kind of fit in to that niche. And I also loved stand up. So again, if Tyler Kretz or Stephen Haas exist then, I mean, it's great for comedy, but I'm not, it's them doing the Netflix specials.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, I say the same thing about Indian comedians. I was like, I was the early one in Chicago, and now there's too many of these fucking people. I'm not special
we got too
anymore.
many Vikrams.
Yeah, we got 2 Vikrams in this
got
goddamn
maybe 3
town.
Vikrams.
Damn it, that's too many.
3
you're asking me.
But there is
Call
definitely
ice? No.
Nice.
there's definitely something to that.
Get
of,
these
like,
Puerto Ricans out of here.
It's so wild how like so much of this is like luck and timing because you can just be grinding for years.
And it is, I think, too, there's an element of like, you got to stay in it long enough to get lucky.
Yeah.
You do. And that's, there's determination but I saw.
And you get better through all of that.
Absolutely. But there's an encouragement that comes, like, keeps you in the game.
Sure.
Either you're insane or you're doing something right. So you can
even how we got introduced to you was because, like you mentioned, you were doing albums, you started doing specials, and we were at the time putting together our first like special and album.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
we friends with 401k benefits.
That's right.
And we were like, we got to go to the guy, the Chicago guy, to do this. And you were like,
and
the
little
name.
did we know, we didn't. None of us had 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have been doing that anyway.
But you still have to try.
Yeah.
100%.
That's
yeah.
the thing.
And that's for us. That was exactly what
Yeah.
it was. Like we had to go through that, then
Yeah.
to do like Dry Bar and other things because like
We
if
had
it was
a couple weeks ago, one of our episodes of the pod, we watched old videos
yeah.
of ourselves from
Yeah.
that era.
fun.
Yeah.
Me looking at it now, I go, I'm shocked that we spent money on producing this.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
But you have to make a student film to graduate from college. So it's like
that's a great way to say
you know,
it. That's great.
you gotta
great.
But also think
keep
about
going.
it before, to his point, before video was everywhere. When you
Right.
saw a cool
Right.
produced
We were
video, you're like,
thinking,
man,
like, dude,
this
this
is the
is it.
one because
Yeah.
I have no other.
Dude,
take.
I remember us producing that and being like, where do we get the email for Netflix?
Yeah. We were going to submit it to them. We were like, yeah, who
It's
do we know?
okay.
And not even that we were going to. We thought that was viable. With that, they were going to get our email and be
I'm like,
like,
they're going to call us.
and they were going to be like, thank God.
Look, man,
3 unknown comedians from Chicago.
There's a thin line between dreams and delusion in this business.
100%.
Yeah.
And only you can't even be the arbiter of that.
Well, that's why
Right.
again,
Yeah.
I was very glad to do that when we did because now there's people who have the same delusion now and are
Yeah.
putting their shit out now as a special, like so many YouTube specials that people are like
Right.
unknown,
Yeah.
just doing their 10, 30, and I'm like, you're so bad, but you're now it's out there,
Yeah.
and like you could have learned and done it poorly earlier, like we did when it didn't matter.
But see, but they are though.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like so many of us. Another lucky thing, you got to fail in the dark so you can shine in the light, right? And like
yes, great.
all of us, like you guys, you put that out. I thought it was great. Well, I thought it was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you
fine.
for the honesty.
There it is.
For the time,
Yeah.
Right.
for
Yes.
who you guys were
Yeah.
at the time,
100%.
it was great.
Yeah.
Because you guys were putting yourselves out there,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a scary fucking thing to do. You were. I wouldn't even say overconfident. You had a
Vic was overconfident.
well. Still,
I was right where I was supposed to be.
But,
Yeah,
I mean, for God's sake.
Vic's always going to be overconfident.
you have to have that level of
Yeah.
like borderline narcissism.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
totally.
in this business to
Yeah.
even operate and like get yourself noticed. And these kids now who are just pumping out, let them.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
no one's gonna see them.
Right.
YouTube isn't.
That's the
fucking
thing now. It's like
mausoleum of
Right.
garbage.
Yeah.
It's like not
Yeah.
that their specials are garbage, but it's like it's
Yeah,
just so
There's
much
just so much.
shit.
Buried
if it's bad, people won't see it, but it will be out there.
It's out
Yeah.
there, and there's so many comics who are monsters now who have bad
Sure.
specials.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere, and honestly, I think as a true fan of comedy, what a joy it is to find
Yeah.
horrible specials
Dude.
of people who are absolutely crushing.
When I
it.
first started doing stand up, I had a day job and I would listen on Spotify to comedy albums all day.
Sure, yeah.
And I my sweet spot was if you found someone who had 3 albums,
Yeah.
listen to them in reverse
Yes,
chronological
I remember you
order,
telling me this.
and you go, "Oh, this is them now." This is when I first discovered like Mark Norman, Joe List, like
Yeah.
right before Joe did his first Netflix half hour. It was like, "Oh, his first album is really good." And you listen to the second one back, it's like, "Okay, it's good." And you listen all the way back and it's like but the other thing that I loved as someone who's getting into comedy was like, he's one example, but routinely there's all these comics where like their most recent album, their opener was the closer on their middle album, and it was like
Sure.
oh, it used to be your best joke and now you're throwing it away at the beginning, and you just see like that
progression,
trajectory of
yeah.
like you're watching someone get good in real time.
Yeah.
It's like a time capsule of the comic they were at the time. You know?
That's also so funny. Like an album too. People were like, no one was even. People were just doing the
Right,
album.
it was just-
Wasn't
it was
even
no
just audio.
specials weren't a thing.
Just
yeah,
audio.
specials weren't a thing. So people were just like, I need to get this audio
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
And then also to your point, they're repeating shit, which is like you can't
yeah.
you wouldn't do that now.
Right.
You would never put in a joke like unless it's drastically different or something. But you could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about. I have so many questions about now and forward, but like, you've done all these things. Is there a thing now that you're like, this is where I want to turn my attention to, like for you or for the industry? Like, what do you like?
Well, you say moving back in a year.
or if you could choose to do whatever, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I love making specials. I love, just like being around comedy. I'll make specials for the rest of my life. I'm a one-trick pony.
I was going to say, is it always live stand-up for you?
Always been live stand-up.
Always will be.
I started with albums.
Yeah.
I hope not always will be. I'm working on a movie. I'm making
That's
a
what I was
movie
going to
right
ask.
now.
Other stuff like that. Okay.
That I can't do specifics on,
Sure.
but it's my first movie,
Cool.
which is really fun and
Directing?
exciting. It's like I don't think so. It's a very loose communal kind of thing.
Cool.
You're working on it.
I am the only one doing all of the production.
Got it.
So
usually, as usual, wearing all the hats.
You do have interest in stuff like that.
But yeah,
I mean,
I love
TV
Dune.
Like
the way that Dune is shot is beautiful. Like it's majestic. It's grandiose. Stuff like that. I'm a big sci-fi guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forget you're a nerd.
I'm a huge dork.
Yeah,
dude. And I fucking
because you look so cool.
It's all Halo.
Oh, is that Halo?
Yeah, that's all Halo. That's Reach. That's Installation 04, and that's the Ark.
God.
So it's like.
I don't even know what that stuff means.
Meatwad from Rocket Team Force. Like I'm a huge fucking
a lot of racial slurs.
dork. It's yeah. Thank God you're not
Dork
Dominican.
slurs. Yeah.
No. But
Meatwad, what'd you say?
nothing. I don't say shit. But so I want to do a movie would be cool someday. But I mean a different kind of movie,
Sure.
like a big grandiose thing or something. I don't know. I like filming stuff.
Yeah.
But I really just I had never had a plan.
Yeah.
None of this was a plan.
And do you plan to continue operating that way?
I mean, yeah.
Seems to have worked out pretty well.
I've just been following my feet.
I love
well,
that.
literally, like you said,
Great.
you went to New York and you kind of just went to go.
I just went to
first
go.
Time and
I texted Ian Fidance. Before I went, I was like, hey, do you, I want to come to town and just see the cellar. I'd never been to the cellar before. Can I see the cellar? And he was like, yeah, come on, let's go. And so I met him. That was my first ever. It was one of the most New York experiences ever. So I walk up to the cellar and there's a guy who works a door named Outside Steve. And his white guy always wears a hat. He's in his 50s. And I walk up to Steve and I'm this happy, bright-eyed, hey.
My friend is here.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm here to film Ian Fidance. Do you know where he is? And he looks me in the eyes. He goes, I don't know. Fuck off. And
Welcome
I was
to
like,
New York, bitch.
And I was like, okay. And then I went around the corner to the Village Underground. But it was welcome to New York. One of those New York things.